My wife and I had 3 kids. Things were going great. I had worked with Stan on a lot of different projects, but I'd never worked with him as my lead pastor. So when he hired me to be his associate, I was excited to come on board and work with him. I had been at the church about a year and a half, was serving as a teaching pastor, and our 4th child was born. 3 days later, I'm leaving the hospital, and I see Stan and his wife walking into the hospital. And I said, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And he said, "You know those headaches I've been having?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "We're just going to get that checked out." And by the time I got back to the hospital, they had completed an MRI, and they had found a golf ball-sized tumor right in the front of his brain. After he passed, I found myself trying to deal with the grief of losing a friend. And at the same time, I find myself in the role of a senior pastor, trying to lead a church who's also grieving the loss of their founding pastor. It was overwhelming. If I'm honest, I think I found myself pretending a lot. People had to still have confidence that they were going to be okay, that the church was going to be okay. If they knew that I was scared, that I didn't know what was going to happen next, are they going to stick around? Are they going to leave? And what does that say about what they believe in God? So I found myself saying things and giving people confidence, but inside, I'm wondering, is that really the case? I needed something more than what I had. I needed help. I was sitting on the couch with my youngest son. We're watching a movie that we had seen probably 10 different times. And as the scene unfolded, I found myself starting to cry. I get up and I go in the other room, and I stood in my living room, and I did not understand what was happening. I was crying uncontrollably, like I couldn't figure it out. I knew something had broken. It triggered a phone call to a buddy of mine who works at Full Strength Network, Danny Howard. And I said, I need to talk because I thought I was managing this well, and I'm not. And I need help.
The first time I met Scott, he was really facing some challenges that he did not bring on himself.
I remember that first meeting with Denny because I was the peak of my brokenness. And he gives me these basic principles.
The Ministry Pulse app, basically it's an online journal to help ministry people be more self-aware of what's going on in their lives. And this is a tool that really kind of is like taking your own temperature and to find out how am I doing in 6 domains of my life.
As I looked at those principles and started to care for those areas of my life, I realized, oh my goodness, I haven't been investing and no one's been investing in me in these areas, and I have to pay attention to these areas of my life. And it was so simple, yet because of all the demands of ministry, I hadn't been doing it. I started to notice that as I just made little investments in each of these areas, it began to pay off in my ministry, it began to pay off in my relationships.
I've been working with ministry people for 20 plus years, and Full Strength Network answers all the questions that pastors have. Where am I safe? Who can really help me? And can I afford it?
This network was there when I needed them to be able to lead me through something that so few people have ever even been through. They gave me confidence, they gave me encouragement, they gave me hope as I was trying to give that same thing to other people. Full Strength Network actually allowed me to process my calling and get to the place that I am made to be. And so now I'm a teaching pastor. I love the local church, made up of people. I see them almost like these little bitty fires coming together. And if we can strengthen them, and if we can give them tools and resources to grow them, man, we get to build the bonfire and people get to light the world.